Welcome back to Fish Tales. This is part 2 of our Aquaone overhaul. I'm converting this freshwater aquarium to a saltwater reef aquarium with a combination of fish and coral. Now this is the dead rock and this is the live rock. So I'm going to replace the dead rock for the live rock. That's right, live rock. Now what's alive about this is all the little bacteria and microorganisms that grow in and on it, which actually help to filter our water. We're going to use this as the structure to our reef, and then we're going to come along and put our living corals on top. That's going to look magic. First we have to break down the old setup. We have to remove everything, and sometimes you find a few nasties.
Lana! I found your last fish.
Oh, you can't. That's disgusting. What are you going to do with it?
Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
Now, one of the reasons why this tank was so badly neglected is that this is actually quite a tucked away position. I believe the aquarium should be the feature of the home, so I'm going to suggest we move it up to the main living area where it's seen every day. Hey Lana, what do you think your parents will say if we move the aquarium upstairs to the main living area?
Well, there's a spot upstairs where Mum said she always wanted to put it.
Well, cool, let's just move it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now I'm going to get the sand out and give it a good clean in a bucket of tap water, and I've got the girls busy cleaning the glass, and they're using an aquarium safe sponge. What we don't want to do is use a sponge that's had any sort of chemicals on the fish tank. On the bottom of this aquarium we're going to put some coral sand, and coral sand is the best and most natural substrate for this aquarium, and the key is not to let the coral sand be too coarse. This tank already has coral sand, so we're just going to give it a clean and put it back in. Now the way we're going to clean the sand is we're going to fill up a bucket of water, rinse the sand in the water, tip off the dirty water, and keep repeating that until it's nice and clean. Now I'm going to check the filters. Oh, as I suspected, they're absolutely gross. These haven't been changed for months. With mechanical filtration, you're circling the volume of water past all this garbage several times an hour. So it's important that you replace them every couple of weeks so they don't get disgusting like this. No wonder the tank was foul. With these sorts of top filters, they're so easy to change. So they've just got no excuse for this sort of laziness. Now I've found some activated carbon. It's probably months old. This stuff really needs to be replaced once a month, because it will collect all the bad stuff out of your water, but once it's full, actually starts to let it all back again into the tank. Okay, now it's time to move the aquarium. These Aquaone aquariums are an all-in-one aquarium, so they're really easy to move. I grabbed Lana's dad to help move the aquarium, and it was upstairs in minutes. Now this position is heaps better. We've got the kitchen, we've got the TV, now it is a central part of the house. I've got the clean gravel in, and being a marine aquarium, we need a lot more water flow. So I'm going to add this pump here, make sure that we don't have a surface where the fish can get sucked on. So I'm just going to pop that off. I'm going to put the power head right at the surface of the water, so when it shoots, we're getting lots of good agitation, because that's how we're going to get our oxygen. We use the same heater in a salt and a freshwater aquarium, so I'll just check that it's set at 25 degrees, and in it goes. Now I'm going to add a canister filter to the aquarium. It's like putting a turbo on the tank. It will hold a whole lot of biological and mechanical filtration, which will supplement the filtration on top of the aquarium, which of course the live rock will do as well, and then spray the water back into the aquarium again. As far as most aquariums are concerned, the more filtration, the better. Add the hose inlet and outlet to the canister filter. A lot of people prefer to put them on either sides of the tank, but if you aim the outlet down to the other end of the tank, it really doesn't matter. Now we're placing the Aquaone top filter back on the aquarium and connecting in the power head. And I've given this top filter a good clean. I've replaced the cartridges, and here's our filter material, which is going to grow our good bacteria. I've brought along some salt water in containers from the shop. So we're going to fill up the tank now, but we'll try not to fill it up too much because we do have to leave some room for the live rock. Turn on the filters and start the water flow. Now this is our live rock, which is what's going to create the structure to our reef. The live rock is going to aid our filtration with a multitude of microorganisms and bacteria. The live rock is actually formed from dead coral, so it's a calcium carbonate structure which originates from living coral. Now when you're putting the rocks into the aquarium, try to minimize how much the rocks touch the sand. You don't want to put them on a flat surface like that where all the waste can accumulate around the bottom of the rock. It's much better to try and touch the rock on points, which will keep your sand much cleaner. We're going to focus on making lots of tunnels and interesting holes for the fish to swim through.
Hey Paula, what's this thing on the rock?
Oh, that's a Bristol worm. They're really common in marine tanks. They come in on your live rock. Now they're pretty much nocturnal, so you don't usually see these guys during the day, but they come out at night and they're great for eating your fish waste. So let's get him in the water.
That's so cool. Yeah.
With this particular rock, this is obviously clearly the bit that we want to see visible. So this rock's got a clear bottom and a clear top. We're going to focus on making lots of tunnels and interesting holes for the fish to swim through. Because this is live rock, it's going to start our natural cycles. Now the way that the natural cycles work with the waste of the aquarium is the first degree waste is ammonia. So we're going to need to test that. Then ammonia is going to break down via bacteria, which is going to grow in and on the rock and the filters into nitrite. Then nitrite's also going to break down by bacteria into nitrate. Once we start to get some nitrate and the ammonia and nitrite are gone, we can think about our corals and introducing our fish. We also want to make sure that our pH stays stable. During this time, we're going to get waste produced from the rock, as we're talking about. So we want to make sure that we don't get too much algae in the aquarium, because that's going to be quite off-putting, particularly at the start. So introducing something such as phosphate just to strip out the phosphate is going to keep the algae down and give us a much more pleasant experience getting this started. Being a marine tank, I want to keep the pH at 8.4, but it'll keep dropping during this cycle. So it's good just to test it, and you can just compare the colour and make sure your pH is nice and high. If the pH does start to fall, I need to add some pH buffer. We're going to use the same thermometer as the fresh water and keep a good eye on the temperature. You will need a hydrometer to regularly check the salt level. Our salt level is 0.022, which is ready to go. Now it's going to be about 3 weeks before we can even think about adding any fish or corals to this tank. We need to let these cycles establish.